Hi there. This is the story of someone who used to be a teacher and chose a completely different path to rediscover herself. If you're feeling tired of your current job, maybe this story is for you. This is the story of someone who was once a teacher and chose a completely different path to rediscover themselves. If you are feeling tired of your current job, perhaps this story is for you. I was once a teacher, a primary school teacher at a public school in the US. I loved the profession. I truly loved it. But one day, I started to ask myself, why does such a noble profession like teaching leave me so drained? I came to the US with the dream of becoming a teacher, the one who sows the seeds of knowledge, the one who changes lives. I worked hard, earned my degree, passed my internship, and finally, I had my own classroom. The first days were wonderful. The students were adorable, I was full of energy, and everything seemed under control. But just a few months later, I began to realize things weren't as I had imagined. I had to work from 7 a.m. to almost 6 p.m., not to mention evenings spent grading papers and preparing lessons. The salary? About $3,800 a month after taxes. Rent, insurance, living expenses. I often ended the month with a zero balance. I remember one time when my students ran out of paper, colored pencils, scissors, and glue. All the basic supplies. I went to Walmart one late evening, filled my shopping cart with supplies, all paid for with my own salary. I didn't complain at the time. I thought, the kids need it. If I don't do this, who will? I realized I was no longer a teacher. I had become a behavior manager, a firefighter, someone trying to maintain peace in a system that was falling apart. And every time a parent called, not to say thank you, but to complain about grades, discipline, or anything else I couldn't control, my heart would feel heavy. One Friday afternoon, after a long day, I sat in my car, looked in the rearview mirror, and stared into my own eyes. My eyes were swollen. My hair was a mess, and I no longer recognized the woman in the mirror. I remembered what a friend once said. If you want to help others find the light, you can't live in darkness yourself. That day, I wrote a 2-week leave request. And during those 2 weeks, I allowed myself to do something I hadn't done in a long time. Seriously think about myself. I read books, I walked in the park, I talked to an old friend who was now a flight attendant. She told me about her job, the freedom, flexibility, the opportunity to travel, and even the stable salary. It felt like a door was opening before me. I began to research. I went to the website of a major airline and saw they were hiring flight attendants. No specialized degree required. I hesitated. But then I applied. Not with high expectations, but at least I had taken action. A week later, I was called for an interview. They asked about my communication skills, how I handle stressful situations, and why I wanted to pursue this career. I told them I was a teacher. I said, I worked with 25 8-year-olds every day. I think I have enough patience for any flight. We all laughed. And I passed the interview. After 6 weeks of rigorous training, from aviation safety to first aid to customer service, I officially became a flight attendant, and my life began to change. On my first day at work, I wore my new uniform, stood in front of the mirror, and smiled. I didn't know what the flight would be like, but I knew I was starting a new journey. Not because I gave up, but because I chose to live differently. My starting salary was nearly $4,500 a month, higher than when I was a teacher. I didn't need to work overtime. No more late-night emails from parents. No more endless meetings. I actually had time off. I could truly live with my own time. I flew to new cities. Once, I sat in a hotel in Seattle, looking out at the lake, drinking a hot cup of tea and reading a book, a luxury I never had time for before. I walked around Boston, had breakfast in San Francisco, and hugged my mom on a short flight back to Texas. I had time for yoga, learned French, and most importantly, I began to love myself again. Some people asked me, Do you regret it? Do you feel like you've abandoned your ideals? I always smile and say, no, I didn't abandon my ideals. I just changed the way I live to protect myself. I still inspire others, but no longer through the blackboard, but through a smile and kindness on every flight. I meet thousands of people every week. There are passengers who are tired, anxious, stressed, and just a greeting, a cup of water, a caring look can ease their hearts. Teaching is a noble profession, but I've learned that nobility shouldn't mean sacrificing yourself to the point of exhaustion. I didn't give up being a teacher. I gave up the exhausted version of myself. And I believe anyone feeling lost in their job has the right to rethink. If you're feeling burned out in your job, take a moment to stop. Ask yourself, am I living true to myself? And if the answer is no, be brave. Because sometimes, to step into a new life, you just need to dare to take a different path. I did it, and I have never regretted it. I share this story not to persuade you to give up being a teacher or choose the career of a flight attendant. Everyone has their own path, their own values. But I hope that if you feel stuck, you'll know that there are doors always open, we just haven't stopped to look. I don't know how long I'll stick with this job, but right now, every time the plane takes off, I feel like I'm being lifted too, gently and freely. That's a feeling I had forgotten during my years as a teacher. And the surprising thing is, I'm still teaching. On every flight, I share life lessons with younger colleagues, I listen to passengers' stories, and leave behind small words of encouragement. Education, it turns out, isn't just confined to the classroom. Life is a journey that constantly changes. And sometimes, leaving behind something familiar is the way we get closer to our true selves. If you're standing at a crossroads, don't be afraid. Remember, change doesn't mean failure. Sometimes, it's just the way you write a new chapter for your life. If you find this story meaningful, if you're standing at a crossroads and seeking change, I hope you'll find the courage to embark on a new journey. Don't be afraid of change, because it might just be the turning point that helps you rediscover yourself. If you found this story helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, share this video to spread the message to those who might need to hear it. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any other inspiring videos. Let's continue to share more stories, lessons, and life-changing journeys in the upcoming videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.